Say thank you for coming out. This is an exciting time. We have a big day for the chamber. It's a big day for us. This is our final lunch and learn of the year, which I think is a really good one. We've been planning this one now for over a year, just to get an update of the community and all of these organizations you're going to hear about and what they do behind the scenes and even things of what's going to be in the future. And I'm excited to hear what they got to say. Some of I know and some that I don't know, which I think is going to be interesting. And that's probably, maybe you're in the same boat as that. So thank you for coming. Before we get completely started, I do have a couple of housekeeping things I want you to be aware of. There is restrooms to the back and to the right. Actually, my right, your left. And then there's also restrooms down this way to the food. So we also, talking about the food, we definitely want to thank Dinner Time, and that's Miss Mandy Gerwig, for providing our food today. She's done an excellent job. I've been smelling it now for over an hour. I am ready to eat. Hopefully you are too. So we are going to pray in just a second. After the prayer, I'm going to send our speakers to get their food first. That way they've got that under control. And then after the speakers come through, then all of our guests can go grab it. While they speak, we won't waste much time. So the first speaker will come up. And while we are speaking, please do not think that you have to be seated. If you need to go get something to drink, something to eat, you're still standing, please do so. That's what this event's about, okay? And that's kind of how we've got it set up so that you can do that, okay? All right. Very excellent. All right. If you'll join me in some prayer, let's pray for our food. Father, thanks for our time. Thanks for thanks for today, God. You've given us some sunshine. It's really cool and nice and warm outside. So thank you for that. And I just pray this part of it, this lunch and learn, that we hear behind the scenes of what different organizations are doing in our community. Not only do we want to know because we're curious, sure, but also help it to energize us and to do what we're supposed to do in our community, and that's to be a part of that. So God, thank you for that. Thank you for Mandy and all of her hard work and the food that she's provided for us, and just bless it to our bodies. And thank you for the many blessings that we have each and every day, God. We appreciate those blessings. Thanks for the place that we live and the freedoms that we have. I'm probably going to sing her praises a lot. Those of you who've been involved this year with the Chamber of Commerce, you have seen definitely a different direction and maybe even a different interaction with the Chamber. And it's been good. It's been a unique one. It's been a very busy year. It's been a taxing year. But I'm telling you right now, it could not have all happened without this lady. This lady has done it. And you're going to hear lots more if you come tonight. You're going to hear some of her accomplishments and things of that nature. So, let's welcome to the front the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce Executive Director, Miss Lindsay Skidmore.
Thank you so much for joining us today. It is an honor to be able to speak on behalf of the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce and our wonderful Board of Directors. January of this year will make a year since I've been your Executive Director, and what a very exciting and busy year it has been. During that year, I received one very common question: what is a Chamber of Commerce? Now, Google has a simple answer to this. The Chamber of Commerce is a group of volunteers who work together to promote business in a local area. So, very simple answer, but when I give that answer to people, it is almost always followed up with an additional question: how? Our board of directors this year has sort of made that our mission. We want to be a chamber that answers that very question. We are proud to say that this year we have implemented various events and programs to do just that. I'm not going to go into great detail about all of them, but just to state a few. This year we started a new program that we titled Business of the Week. This has been a chance for us to highlight one specific chamber member each week and what they offer to our community. In partnership with our local TV station, SCTV, we have been able to feature over 35 businesses so far this year with an in-person interview that airs on YouTube, Facebook, and our local Channel 12 TV station. This spring, we hosted our first annual member showcase held at the Summersville Arena and Conference Center. This was a time for our businesses and organizations to promote themselves to the general public. We brought in over 500 attendees that day to visit the 42 vendor booths and partake in the live entertainment, runway shows, and onstage acts. We had some really great feedback from that event. We had caterers that booked events, businesses that were doing on-site employment interviews, and organizations that were bringing in new membership. Many attendees learned about local businesses that they may have not known existed. Other inaugural events that we have held this year included the Taste of Nicholas County, a kickoff to the annual Potato Festival. This event promotes our local food establishments and entertainers and gives our community the opportunity to sample our local tasty cuisine. The Back to School Bash, which was held in August, where we partnered with several member organizations to celebrate children as they ushered in the school year. This was a wonderful way for us to promote some of our education and healthcare partners by uniting them with children and their families. We're really looking forward to the next couple weeks as we're organizing the second annual Shop Local campaign, or Pink Weekend, as we call it. Many of you may have seen the pink balloons all over town last year. This is a weekend where we encourage the local consumer to start off their holiday shopping right here in our area. We get the community out and visiting our local establishments by offering a lot of really great prizes. It's a really fun weekend for all of those involved. The list of 2022 events goes on and on. We have really tried to integrate the Chamber into the community so we can better promote our businesses and organizations. But we really didn't want to stop just at promotion. The fact is that the Chamber is here for the betterment of our businesses and organizations. And that goes far beyond just promotion. We want you to be the best organization possible. We decided to start a program that we could use to help educate businesses. So this summer, our first Lunch and Learn took place. This is a time when we bring business owners and leaders out during their lunch hour, feed them and educate them on a topic relating to business. Our first session was about digital media marketing and website promotion. Our second session, we focused specifically on social media marketing because, as we all know, social media really is the best way to advertise your business. So we wanted to make sure that our members had the latest tips and tricks to Facebook, how to advertise on it, and other social media platforms. We're so excited to be rounding out this year's Lunch and Learn series with today's session. We hope to make it an annual event and finish up each year by giving you the opportunity to hear from the Chamber, the CVB, the County Commission, and the Mayor of Summersville. So thank you so much for joining us here today. I do want to make sure to invite each of you to our annual dinner, which will be held this evening at the Summersville Arena and Conference Center. It's going to be a casual event where we really get to celebrate all of the accomplishments, not only from the Chamber, but from its members. We all know that this has been a bounce back year after the pandemic, and we just want to take some time to focus on the members and how far each of you have come throughout this year. We will have some really great food, entertainment, networking, and we will even be announcing our end-of-year award recipients. I would really like to encourage each of you to attend if possible. The Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce is continually growing. I'm actually going to ad-lib here a little bit. So I was setting up this table over here, and I don't know if any of you got this little notepad, but I've had these all this year. I was setting them out, and I didn't even notice, but at the top, it actually says, "Our growing is showing." And that means, it really means a lot this year. We'll be finishing out this year having held a total of 9 ribbon-cutting ceremonies for newly opened businesses. The Chamber has actually increased its total membership this year by 70%, with 42% of its membership signing up just this year. That number is actually continuing to increase every month. As 2022 comes to an end, we find ourselves looking forward to 2023. For the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce, that's going to mean you'll probably be seeing me even more, seeing all of us, more programs, more events, but hopefully we'll have more participation. If you have ever seen one of our Business of the Week interviews, one of my lines in the opening states, "The Chamber is a partnership between businesses and individuals working together to promote a healthy economy in the Summersville area." And that is such an important part of the Chamber. It's not about what the Chamber can do for you, it's about what the Chamber can accomplish with you. The more participation that you have in the Chamber's programs and events, the more value that we can bring to your business. So our hope is that you will continue to be involved with us in 2023. And as always, if you have any ideas that you would like to bring to the table or you would like to learn about how you can be more involved, please feel free to reach out to me.
All right. Thank you very much, Ms. Lindsay. So our next speaker is from the Summersville Convention and Visitors Bureau, the Executive Director, Tracy McCoy.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is my pleasure to be here on behalf of the CVB and the CVB Board today. Thank you to Lindsay and the rest of the Chamber for inviting us here. For those of you who do not already know, the CVB's mission is to promote and advocate tourism within Nicholas County, with an emphasis on the Summersville area. The CVB's sole source of funding comes from a portion of the hotel motel tax that is collected by the City of Summersville and the county. With the passing of what's commonly called the Airbnb bill, our taxing authorities have been receiving taxes collected and submitted by the marketplace facilitators. The CVB annual budget is designed using the requirements and recommendations provided by the West Virginia Association of CVBs, which is the association that our accreditation is obtained through. Currently, I am working on our reaccreditation portfolio, which is submitted every 3 years. According to Senate Bill 488 that took effect in July 2021, in order to continue to receive funding, all CVBs must be accredited, which is obtained by meeting and/or exceeding certain industry standards. You may have seen recently in the Nicholas Chronicle that there is conversation taking place regarding the possibility of the Summersville CVB expanding to market and advocate for tourism throughout all of Nicholas County, including Richwood and surrounding areas. Richwood is a wonderful city filled with amazing community members, businesses, and tourist attractions, as is the rest of our county. If the expansion does take place, I will be honored and excited to have the opportunity to market our wonderful county as a whole. A minimum of 40% of our budget is required to be invested in marketing and advertising, with a particular focus on targeting travelers that live at least 50 miles or more away from here. A common slogan used in the tourism industry is that we aim to get more heads in beds. Not only do those heads in beds mean more hotel motel tax, but that also means more dollars spent within our community at our local stores, restaurants, etc. Our advertising efforts focus mainly on the Mid-Atlantic and the Northeast and Southeast regions, which include West Virginia, Kentucky, Tennessee, North and South Carolina, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Virginia, DC, and New York. Throughout the year, dollars earmarked for marketing are spent on various projects, which include print, digital, TV, radio, billboards, and social media. This past year, you may have seen our ads in West Virginia Living Magazine, USA Today, Ohio Magazine, Travel Taste and Tour, or Blue Ridge Motorcycle Magazine. You may have heard us on Nicholas County's new radio station, Lake Country 95.7 FM, The Boss 97 FM, or saw us on WSHZ during the Triple Crown. We distributed 15,000 of our annually published Summersville Visitors Guides through our local hotels, campgrounds, trade shows, and other CVBs and welcome centers across the state. We continue to have an increasingly strong social media presence. We maintain a useful and informative website and distribute an e-newsletter to over 7,000 recipients. The CVB continues to maintain a positive community presence by hosting, supporting, promoting, sponsoring, or participating in many events that take place across the county. Locally, I also represent the CVB and our board by being an active member of the Nicholas County Potato Festival Committee, the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce, the Summersville Mural Committee, the Summersville Arena and Conference Center Advisory Board, the Nicholas County School Improvement Council, and am currently joining the Craigsville Fall Festival Committee, the Summersville Rotary Club, the New River Career and Technical College Business Advisory Board, and the Richwood Chamber of Commerce. In my honest opinion, after losing the majority of our coal industry benefits, it seemed like our community was wandering aimlessly without an identity. But under the powerful leadership of our wonderful mayor and our county commissioners, I see our community eagerly claiming tourism as our new identity and moving forward with newfound eagerness and excitement. Nicholas County has made incredible strides in becoming a sought-out destination by travelers everywhere, and our potential for growth abounds. It is with honor that I proudly continue to serve in this position, promoting and advocating for tourism within our community, alongside such phenomenal community leaders, board members, tourism partners, and community members. Thank you for your time. And the same, if you have any questions, you'd like information about the CVB, who we are and what we do, please reach out. A lot of you may not know, but the CVB office is actually located at the Summersville Arena and Conference Center. When you walk through the main doors, I'm the first office on the right, and adjacent to my office is our resource room. And that is where we distribute visitors guides, area maps, rack cards from area businesses, and so my door is always open.
Thank you, Ms. Tracy. I don't know if you guys are sitting there listening to this, but my head is spinning. Lots of stats, lots of things that they are doing, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. Oh, and by the way, we're only halfway through. So I'm excited to hear what each of these next ones are going to bring to the table. Let me remind you, if you want to get seconds, want to go through that, you're more than welcome to. Please don't feel like that you are tied to that seat. Trust me, I will be back for seconds at some time. It was excellent. All right, so if you have a pencil, maybe on your program, maybe you might want to pencil this in. So the next two is going to be a tag team, okay? And that pencil in, we want to pencil in that County Commissioner Craig Chapman and County Commissioner Garrett Cole.
Good afternoon. We're going to do our best to do a joint effort to help keep to the time schedule that the CVB and the Chamber here are asking us to do. To begin with, we want to discuss the park here. Of course, we're sitting here in the dining hall that we updated here last year. And if you have time before you go back to work, I encourage you to drive through the park. And if you see any problems, please contact me, because we're only halfway done. But the Nicholas County Commission, by the aid of the ARP funds, has poured more than $233,000 into this park, upgrading facilities to where they are now usable again by communities. This dining hall, you couldn't open the doors in the kitchen. The cabins, you couldn't do this. The buildings, you couldn't do this. We took on this park. We have updated it. We're not done yet. But because of ARP, we try to make this a community resource again. And we're in full support of Mayor Schaefer's plans with the park that they're proposing in the city limits, and we're going to work together with them. You know, we've got the 4-H, the county fair, things like that. We can work in cooperation with the city. We've done our best to partner up with the city. We appreciate Mayor Schaefer and all that he's done. Switching over to the ARP funds in general, Commissioner Chapman, if you'd like to begin on those.
The ARP funds, we got around $4.5 million through ARP, which come from the federal government, that we could spend on anything we wanted, really. There wasn't too much tied to it. We put a big bunch of it towards the water project in Richwood that covers Hinkle Mountain up where the golf course and stuff is. That took a bunch of it. We put in some with Wilderness PSD to take some water lines out to Young Life and things like that. So we put a bunch of it in that, things like that. We put some in the Richwood Armory, their new convention center type place. Their sidewalk repairs. We'll put some toward the Welcome Center that the city and us right now are teaming up on. We put a lot of it into the park, but we also put a lot of it into Little League. We funded really a lot of money towards all 3 Little Leagues this year. A lot of times you don't see what the commission does because no one really pays that much attention to us unless they get mad at us. And you know, we need your input. Recently we made a decision we didn't have all the information on. Some citizens came back to us and we need to reverse that decision. So we need to know about things like that. We bought some new equipment to upkeep the parks. We've recently took over the Indian Arms Park at Craigsville. And in these parks, we're trying to find a new source of income and things. And she brought up about the coal drying up, which it did compared to what it used to be, but luckily it's coming back. We do have some mines getting ready to operate in Nicholas County, which will be a big plus to us. So whatever we can do we need input, good or bad, because we have a whole county. The mayor has a city, Richwood Mayor has a city, we have a whole county. So we need help in every way we can. And the CVB combination, like we're talking about, is going to be a big plus because it's going to be no more fighting back and forth. It's going to be a county thing. And we're going to be Nicholas County first. That's our goal.
And just a few more things. As you probably read and heard about, Commissioner Chapman was a good leader on this. We secured the old Summersville Post Office for $1 from the federal government. That alone saved this county $4.5 million in building a new Homeland Security Center. We're underway in our remodel project right now. Commissioner Chapman has been a good liaison back and forth between us and the contractors, and we still have to equip it with all the radios and computers and technology and the like. And we're not there yet. I mean, we're looking at, we might be a year out from the grand opening of that new center. However, that takes us from a system from the 90s to modern day. We'll have the most up-to-date Homeland Security Center in the state of West Virginia. And 911 Center. They're combined, so I go back and forth and reference it to you. And outside of that, the equipment that we have put in Homeland Security and the Sheriff's Department, we have the largest ratio of newer cruisers in the police department, and we have brand new vehicles. We actually took on a fire truck from Cerrito, I never say that right, down below Huntington for $17,000. It's a 10-year-old International. They have some grant system where they can just completely replace their trucks every 10 years. So we got one for $17,000 when we're having to buy side-by-sides for $30,000. And so we have a complete special operations unit coming out of the Homeland Security office now that can back up our fire departments, police departments, and the like. For example, the tire fire. We had a trailer equipped out with a mobile command where we could take our Homeland Security Center and put it down 39. With all that going on, all the commotion, and under the leadership of Chief Snodgrass, we made it work. But we did not have that resource on site. With this truck, we can. And so, we're always evolving in how we equipped our departments. We've put a larger ratio of pickup trucks in our sheriff's department so they can get to more rural areas. Thanks to a federal grant, our Homeland Security and our sheriff's department received a side-by-side so they can do more remote access as well. Because of funding, I believe, that included the Leprechauns, potentially Summersville Rotary, and I apologize, I don't have that in front of me, and then the remainder by the county commission. We equipped Homeland Security, which has been used on recoveries multiple times already. So we're buying the appropriate equipment, not just whatever we think or whatever we want, to make sure these departments are well equipped and well trained. We have probably, I'm going to go ahead and say, the best Homeland Security director in the state of West Virginia. He has been an instructor in the fire service for 35 years. And so if somebody knows more than him, I'd like to hire them also. But he's a pretty good guy. As Commissioner Chapman mentioned, we took over Indian Rocks Park in Craigsville. I think this is a good opportunity to partner with individuals in Craigsville area. We have worked in conjunction with the city and citizens to update our downtown buildings, the Day Reporting Center, the WVU building, and a few others that we're working on. And the county has built up through the leadership of the current commission and the county clerk especially. I want to give credit where credit's due to Clerk Bobby Painter. We have one of the largest rainy day funds this county has ever had. It's not coal reliant and it's not ARP funds. And so we have been conservative with our budget. Now, I'm not saying that's for everybody to come ask for money and we'll spend it, but those are funds that we have set back so 2015 never happens again. I cannot imagine, and I'm sure I don't want to speak for him, but Commissioner Chapman can never imagine laying off 25% of our sheriff's department and asking everybody in the courthouse to take an 11% pay cut. That's happened once, and as far as I'm concerned, we never need to allow that to happen again. And I think it's really exciting to hear there's 9 ribbon cuttings that's happened in the last year. So I congratulate the chamber and their members on that great success. And unless you have anything else, that's all I have.
The way we've cleaned up our properties, what the county owns, we've kind of taken leadership on painting buildings like the RC, things like that, cleaning up the lot behind the McClung House. And we're trying to bring pride into this county so everyone else is doing this. Okay.
Thank you all very much.
I'm sure I can speak for some of you, the same as me, when I drive through town, like they were talking about, businesses and things are getting painted and murals, and it's looking good. I kind of smile My son now, when I drive through town, Dad, take me by the mural. Love that, okay? And that is, and I think it's growing, and I hope I'm not stealing the mayor's thunder because I'm sure he's going to talk about some of that. But our city is growing, and it's looking lots better. So, our last one to speak, and it's with reason. He's got a lot on his plate. I work with him directly on several things. Just in full disclosure, he is my boss of my job. But I did not know before I started working for the city the amount of things that go on behind the scenes. It's astonishing to me. And I'm sure that if I work, and I've worked with the county commission some, it's astonishing, those things that go on behind the scenes that we as citizens sometimes don't know, or maybe just go over. And I think it's important on a day like today for us to honor those guys in the things that they are doing so that we know that. So, our last guest speaker is the mayor of the city of Summersville, Mr. Robert Schaefer.
Thank you, Jason. Well, I think it's by design that I get to go last. They left me 20 minutes. I can't even begin to scratch the surface in 20 minutes what's going on in the city of Summersville. A couple things I want to start with. We cannot be a community of yesterday if we want to be here tomorrow. And so every day when we start off in the city of Summersville, we think about what we need to do to be here tomorrow. I want to talk about partnerships and collaborations. We got them up here and we got them out there. And that's what makes the city of Summersville successful. And let me tell you, I got to speed through this, so put your seatbelt on and go with me. I promise you won't get a speeding ticket. There's a lot to cover. And what I want to start with first is the CVB and the Chamber. These ladies up here are rock stars, and I mean it. They're rock stars. And what's happened in the last 12 to 18 months, and you think about coming out of the pandemic. We all want to say pandemic. No, that's no longer an excuse. We got to get through this stuff, and they're making it happen. And I am so extremely proud of what I see in their leadership, and not only that, their boards. So if you're in here and you're on either one of those boards, stand up real quick to be recognized. Real quick. All right, thank you. Thank you. Okay, so, and recently, because of our belief as a city and commitment to these, and of course Tracy talked about her budget coming through the hotel motel, we in a real proud way this last Monday approved a $10,000 check that we're sending, and Lindsay probably already has it, to the Chamber for their efforts in operation. The other thing I want to tell you real quick, city decorations, okay? We're not trying to on purpose skip the holidays. I know sometimes people get aggravated. We're not even to Halloween and you go into Walmart and the retail and they got out Christmas. Well, our Christmas decorations are going up because they have to be lit on November 17th. The city of Summersville, in partnership with these two ladies up here, are doing a city promotional Christmas video that's going to be about the city and our holiday season, as well as promoting and highlighting the city businesses to hopefully, it's going to showcase on both CBS and Fox. And we're hoping that what it's going to bring us is people to shop, eat, and stay during the holidays, when typically that would be our down season. So we're real excited about that. So yes, all of the city decorations will be fired up and lit November 17th. That's video day, both day and night. So it's going to be the city and businesses. Let me highlight first home rule. Proudly on October 12th of 2022, myself, City Recorder Gary Withey, and our attorney, Mark Mikovich, that we hired from Charleston, went down and sat before the Home Rule Board of the state of West Virginia, gave our proposal, and I was so proud at the end of that, we were accepted. We are now officially, we're that day when we left, a home rule city. Means a lot of things, but I'm going to highlight the 500-foot level today and the big issues of what that means to the city of Summersville. First, I will tell you over 50% of our cities in the state of West Virginia are already in home rule. So we joined the club. The biggest thing it's going to do for us is the 1% sales tax. We have already boxed in the city of Summersville, and there will be a 1% sales tax now on everything sold that's taxable by a state tax code in the corporate limits of the city. So, for an example, come July 1st of next year, when you go to Walmart, You're going to pay a 7% tax, not a 6% tax. That 1% tax comes to the city of Summersville. In doing so, what we've done is we've reduced our B&O tax to retail. Hopefully, what will eventually happen is the complete elimination of B&O tax. Already, the city of Summersville was only charging 50% of the tax that we were allowed to charge by state law. For the retail tax, to those businesses that are now going to see the 1% sales tax, but that's to the consumer, this is a business and occupation tax which the business owners pay. We reduced it again. So B&O tax to retail in the city, effective July 1st of 2023, will be 0.25%. And again, our ultimate goal will be to completely eliminate B&O tax all the way across the board. What's that going to do for the city of Summersville? Well, the business tax, retail tax, that's going to be, these are all estimates. The state tells us our estimates are conservative. The retail tax to the businesses, the B&O tax, is going to be a reduction of approximately $447,000. The rough estimates that we're going to gain, net gain, on the sales tax is going to be somewhere between $1.2 and $1.5 million. So those numbers are going to work you into understanding what we're going to do with that when I highlight some other things that are happening here in the city of Summersville. The other thing I want to highlight too is, and I wish you could have been here today, because if you don't know her, I want you to know her. Approximately about 18 months ago or longer, I don't remember exactly when it was, the city of Summersville hired a grant writer. And we opened the door and said anybody can use her. And a lot have. And if you didn't know about her, it's Annabeth Anderson. And I got to tell you, I wanted to go through the litany of great things that she's done, but again, I'm limited on time. We have had great success with her, with the city, and with folks like you that have utilized her as a grant writer. She's free. We're paying her cost. I encourage you to use her. And many of you out here have, and I think even you ladies may have used her at times. I know the park has. So anyway, she's open to everybody for purposes of writing grants. So let me highlight some projects that are happening in the city of Summersville. Underway, as a matter of fact, right now, maybe even today because it's so beautiful outside, we've got our sidewalk project on Webster Road. These processes are delayed. This grant money is great, but of course our government seems to really lag and drag to get rubber to the road. But anyway, the engineering has finally been approved. We got a grant over a year ago to pay for it. And on this first leg of sidewalk, we're putting a sidewalk on Webster Road from Grove Street to South Street. I can tell you that fortunately we already applied for and was awarded first round of construction costs, $450,000, and here soon we're going to apply for second round. It is our goal and our master plan that we will connect downtown clear out to Merchants Walk. The other thing that we're doing as well is now, and I'll get to it in a minute, the excitement of our complex that I'm going to talk about in closing. This sidewalk will also take you to the entrance of our new recreational complex. So got the sidewalk project underway, got grant money, more grant money to come, and thankfully all of those grants we get require a 20% match. And so that's what we do with some of the funds that we have and earn through the city of Summersville. The other thing I want to talk about that's underway right now is finally the Kentucky Road Stormwater Project. The city got a grant for a little over $1 million, and everybody knows what kind of mess that is on Kentucky Road. So I can tell you that the engineering is being done and the money has been secured to fix that problem, and hopefully we can alleviate that horrible flooding that happens on Kentucky Road, not only on the streets, but to the citizens that live in that area. So that project is underway. Let's talk about the Gauley River PSD. You might have heard a lot about Gauley River PSD. The Public Service Commission has an order out calling them a distressed utility. So because that utility is vital to our utilities and our operation, in the fact that that's our only bulk water cell customer, so we have the best interest to ensure that they are a viable and up-to-date utility. So we have filed ourselves through the Public Service Commission, as others have, that we as a city are interested in taking that utility over. So technically what you would think about is the City of Summersville water system would run all the way down to the prison. I will tell you that right now, in some scenarios, we are currently supplying water down that far. There's a lot of issues with the PSDs, both Kanawha Falls PSD and Gauley River PSD. And so the City of Summersville has great interest in taking over that PSD. And so, you know, we're working steadfast to do so. Don't know how everything's going to weigh out. Of course, it's all in the hands of the Public Service Commission. Now let me talk about, I think, which is going to be an incredible project, something that I have no reservation will come to be, because the city applied for and was granted earmark money from Senator Capito and Manchin's office to the tune of $1,092,000, and that's to put a visitor center in the city. We have a site selected. We're still working to secure the property, and of course we're working real close with the county commission. Initially, in the vision of this thing, it was going to be a city project, but quite frankly now I think it's just better to be a county project. And so there's a lot of great things and ideas that will evolve out of a visitor center. First of all, first and most important, you heard these ladies talk about tourism. This is going to let us promote our area in a first-class way. We're second to none. You know, when people come to southern West Virginia for the great things that are in southern West Virginia, we've got equal to everybody else right here in our county. Even when you talk about whitewater rafting, where do they all put in at? For the Gauley season, right here in Nicholas County. The Gauley Fest is in Nicholas County. But when you talk about a visitor center, we're talking about a first-class, state-of-the-art visitor center. We're talking about one you're going to walk in and say, I want to go hiking, and you push a hiking button and it tells you where you can go hiking. I want to launch a kayak. You're going to push it, it's going to tell you where you can launch a kayak. How about restaurants, businesses? It's going to showcase the entire county from one end to the other. And we're only going to be here tomorrow if collectively we realize we're stronger together than we are singular. And that's why I think this is a great county project. You heard some possibility of consolidation of the CVBs. This is things that we probably should have done long ago so that we can ensure we're not going to be a community of yesterday, we're going to be here tomorrow. This visitor center, what else will it showcase? I get emails daily, people asking me and beating me about putting some electric car charging stations in Summersville. Reality is, we can all second guess that game. I don't think we'll ever end up where our federal government says we're going right now, but the reality is there's cars like that on the road, and guess what we want them to do? Shop, stay, visit, and come to Summersville. So, we're looking at that. As a matter of fact, there's actually some funding out there right now to help with that. The other thing of it is, many years ago, and still even as it is today, one of the things that West Virginia gets hit on by tourism is we don't have enough dump and refill for motorhome stations in our state. And so constantly, that's as a matter of fact, years ago the state came to me and said, can you put one in? So the vision of this visitor center is that we'll capitalize on all of those things. Most importantly, selling and marketing Nicholas County, and then also talking about how we're the north gate to the new national park. So, you know, there's a lot of marketing opportunity for us to capitalize on. And I will tell you, the numbers aren't really realistic right now because we're still coming back from the pandemic. But I think when everything settles out, we're going to see that the designation of that national park is going to do nothing but help us if we take advantage of it and market it. So that is definitely in the plans. I got 5 minutes left. So 5 minutes for the best piece I want to talk about. And that is the new Summersville Recreational Complex. I'm so excited to tell you that this next council meeting on November 14th, we plan to approve to purchase 125 acres to build out a first-class facility. Number one, that our locals deserve. And not only that, it's going to help us capitalize on some of this other things that we want to do to bring people to Summersville, not only for the recreation that the park will supply, but also the many other things that it will do to help you all with your businesses. So what am I talking about? So let me talk about first phase. First phase of this park, as a matter of fact, I think we're on the edge. I'm getting ready to jump off of securing about $3.7 million. I know we're in the final stages. Our application has been reviewed, amended, and folks have been on site to approve this funding for us. What's that initial funding going to do? I've always said from the beginning, our soccer kids in this community don't have a home. So the first build out of a facility, a facility such as soccer, baseball, basketball, and all those various sports that it's going to entertain is going to be soccer. But to get the money that's out there eligible right now, you got to really focus on tourism. And it's hard to sell the tourism folks that a soccer complex is going to be tourism. So the first phase of the build out is going to be the trails. As a matter of fact, that $3.7 million is going to build out 10 miles of trails on the property. What are these trails going to be for? They're going to be for biking, hiking, walking, and anything else that you want to get out on the trails and do to take in the beautiful mountains of West Virginia. So we're talking about a grand entrance in, and then we're talking about getting back to the head of the trail. So the actual build out of the hiking, biking, and that will be first because the monies we've tagged, we had to show that that will draw tourism. Not only that, we've got an application secured because anything you could do to help promote this kind of stuff, we've already got biking businesses saying if you truly do this, because we think we can build out 20 miles of trails on that property, if you can truly do this, this is, we're interested in coming to your area because you're going to need us to support you. So what's that? More business. So that portion, the trailhead, and those trails will be first, the soccer complex will be second, and everything else will fall in place. The monies that I talked about that we're going to secure in home rule, along with the monies, Summersville, thanks to leadership many years ago, somebody thinking about tomorrow, not yesterday. The hydro plant is incredible. The city of Summersville, what's going to happen to us in the very near future, first of all, in 4 years, we've only been receiving 20% of gross revenue. In 4 years, we go to 60% of gross revenue from the hydro plant. I'm telling you, that's millions of dollars. And then we're about 9 years away from 100%. And so when you think about the opportunities that we're going to have to build out Summersville and the greater community of Summersville in our county, because I got to tell you something. From day one, I've been a mayor to say we are who we are because of our community. And our community includes everybody, not just the city of Summersville. I believe that yesterday, and I believe that today, and I know we need that for tomorrow. So anyway, I'm telling you, this park is going to be top shelf, first class, second to none. I will tell you in a real excited way, we've already broken it out into committees. We've got a baseball committee, we've got a soccer committee. It's going to have an integrated park. If you don't know what that means challenge kids can come to our park and play with their family and their kids just like regular kids. Kids with disabilities. We're excited about that. Don't know that we have another park like that in the region, what this park's going to do. The biking, the hiking, the walking. I mean, you just think about the entrance getting into this park and the walking that it's going to afford our community. And so there's just a lot of excitement. Reality is we're a couple years out. As you know, this stuff doesn't happen overnight. I thought the sidewalks on Webster Road would have been built a year ago. We secured the funding a year and a half ago and just finally got the approval from the state to pay the first invoice on the engineering. So it's long, tedious processes, but they are what they are. We just keep plugging away. So again, I don't take credit for this because it takes a whole team. First of all, I want to say I'm extremely proud of the city employees. boy, have we got some talent, and we got some dedicated people, and I'm talking from the top to the bottom. It's a team. And then it's the partnerships and collaborations that we have with these folks up here and all of you out there. We've got it going, not only in the public sector, but in the private sector in our city. If we didn't have folks like you out there investing in our city, we wouldn't have a city. So it takes us all. And so what a team we've built. And I got to tell you something, it's so exciting to just to try to look in the future and know not what our future could be, but what it's going to be. It is now 1 o'clock. My time's up. Thank you.
I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes when I watch sporting events and they take a clip from a coach in a locker room and he gives that inspirational speech right before they take the field or the court, and sometimes we say, "Suit me up." Hopefully, that's what you got. You're looking at some definite 4 different organizations here, power players, if I should say that, say it out loud. But they've given you some inspiration. I know for me, I want to join, and I want to be a part of that. You know, volunteerism across our county or across our culture at this moment isn't doing well. And the way we change that is we volunteer, right? And that's exactly what we need to do. If we're going to be a part of that and we're going to be a part of this community and thriving, then we've got to. And that's our call, to be a part of whatever organization that you are a part of, to do it wholeheartedly. So thank you to each of our speakers who were able to speak about kind of what's behind the scenes and things that are going on. Hopefully for you, the guests that came today, thank you for coming. Hopefully you got something out of it. Some of you were taking some notes. I'll speak for all of them, I think, in this area. But if you have questions, comments, or concerns, please talk to them. Reach out to them. That's what they want. They want your feedback so that they can hear that. So thank you for coming. I also want to thank Dinner Time once again for Dinner Time. Thank you so much. And you know, this county park is definitely undergoing. We heard some of the changes that were going on. This room is one of them. I haven't been in here in several years. And when we said we were going to do it at County Park, I said, man, I really need to go see it so that I can set sound and different things up. And when I came in here, I thought, what a cool place. And I haven't seen it in a while. It's all new and fresh and awesome. So we thank you to the county park. Thank you for allowing us to use the facility. Anything I'm forgetting before we take off? All right. I think we did a great job as a team effort trying to keep that in that lunch hour. Hopefully you got that. And we appreciate you for being here. So we do want to invite you to tonight. I know you heard that from Ms. Lindsay, our executive director, but tonight is our annual banquet. In years past, that's been a banquet where we sit down at some tables and enjoyed a full meal, and it's been a really full dress-up deal. Tonight's a little different. So it is business casual. We do want you to come. There's going to be some networking time involved. We're going to hear some singing, maybe some entertainment, some different people. We're going to talk about some different areas of the chamber. Going to be a fun event. So I really want you to think about, if you're on the fence about whether you would come or not, please do so. Registration is required, so we do ask you to do that, but you definitely can talk to Ms. Lindsay Skidmore for more information. So again, the Summersville Area Chamber of Commerce, building businesses, building communities. Thank you.